So today I'm joined by Ross the Boss Friedman, who's in Australia next week to start his 4-date national tour of Australia. Welcome to the Rockpit, Ross. And
Thank you, sir.
how are you?
Well, I am fine. I am just getting all my stuff together to get on that plane on Monday for 20,000 hours and actually looking forward to coming down and playing for you fine folks. Every time I've been there, it's been fantastic. So, I mean, there's nothing there to show me that it's not going to be fantastic. The band is better and we're dying to play. It's going to be really good.
Fantastic. So how many trips to Australia will this be?
I think it's three times with RTB, and I've been to Australia twice with the Dictators. So five,
Yeah, yeah,
six.
yeah, absolutely. Now, this 4-date tour. I mean, it's a whirlwind. It's four shows in 4 states in 4 days. How do how do you cope with the rigors of touring? I can only imagine it's early mornings and late nights and not a lot in between.
Well, the one thing is that none of us are drug addicts or alcoholics. You see, I might be. I'm the heaviest drinker in the band, and I'm not. I mean, I don't really drink that much, but I have been known to put back a few vodkas every now and then.
Haven't we all?
Right, and you got it. I mean, we're accustomed to that. We just did a 4 show run. We did Denmark and 3 shows in Turkey. And every night we were somewhere. We were at the airport or at the train station or somewhere else we had to get to. So we did it. And my band we're not soft. You know, we're 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 pretty strong, stout-hearted men. We know how to tour. We're not afraid of touring. We're not afraid of being uncomfortable. That's only momentary. So, but the most important thing that my band realizes is the show. Because we're going through everything to tour, to go to people's towns and everything. People are coming and they're expecting a world-class show. And that's what they're going to get every single night. No matter how tired we are, no matter how, you know, whatever the stupid, excuse is, there's no excuses. So we know what we have to do and we're going to do it. You know?
For sure. And I mean, I guess with a 50-year career such as your own, touring would be second nature. It's probably the road's probably more home than home is at times.
That's right. I mean, just give us the honor to come to your town and annihilate the place. Just give us that honor. Just give us that little opening. We're going. We're coming.
Absolutely.
So,
And I mean, the band has, I mean, from everything that I've seen, I've never seen the Ross the Boss band before. But I have, picked out a lot of your stuff on YouTube and on socials. And you guys really do put on one hell of a show. Now, this current band that you have, tell me a little bit about the guys that are in this band.
I would have to say that this band is absolutely stealth, locked in. We got, of course, my old singer, my Mark, not old. He's been with me for 8 years. Mark Lopes continues to get better, continues to grow. We have our new bass player. I don't know if he's not been to Australia. His name is Dirk Schlachter. He's from Germany. He plays in he's played in a few German bands, a lot of German bands, and he's amazing. And then we have on drums, we have Sean Elg, who was in the band. He was in the band previously, and he's now in KK. He works with KK's Priest, and yeah, he's just. It's just a great band. I think it's the most powerful band we've ever had. So
Absolutely. And when you go back and you listen to those first 6 Manowar albums and you understand and appreciate those records, even still today, um, in finding Mark Lopes as a vocalist, what made him the right guy? You know, he's a hell of a voice.
Yes, it's not exactly that he had the voice of Eric Adams. He doesn't have sound anywhere near Eric Adams. But I didn't want that. I wanted someone that could sing. He could handle the Manowar stuff, and he does a good job of it. Is he absolutely perfect on it? I mean, no one is Eric Adams. Let's face facts. I mean. But Mark is his own singer. I mean, he's original, and he's got his own. He's got a set of balls, man. He's got fucking cojones, and he's got attitude, and he's got nothing's going to stop us, and there's no situation like, oh, I don't do it. Oh, it's too cold. Oh, it's like none of that stuff.
Yeah.
My band are great. Oh, and by the way, I found Dirk's band. He plays in Gamma Ray.
Right.
That's a very popular band in Germany.
Absolutely, the offshoot of Halloween and still purveyors of that.
Yes, and he plays in Avantasia, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's a very incredible musician. He's very good friend. Kai Hansen and Dirk Slapper. So Dirk is amazing. So see you, Anthony. We have a very good band. We're a really good band.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've chosen to play Sign of the Hammer in full on this run of shows. Why that album out of those first six?
It's actually something to do. It's something to brag about, something to write about, and it is incredible. It's an incredible record, and we're going to do Mountains. We're going to do Guyana. We're going to do All Men Play on 10. Sign of the Hammer. So you're not going to get Animals. We're not going to do that one, and we're not going to do the bass solo, and but it's going to be fun. You're gonna love the show. Right? It's the band is spot on. It's going to be ripping.
Now, one question I do have to ask you is: do you miss the costumes from the early days?
To be honest with you, I don't. To be honest with you, a lot of that stuff was self-financed because we didn't have the money for a lot of those costumes, so they were a bit tacky. A lot of them. I'm proud to say that I never looked embarrassing, honestly. And my son would see some pictures of Manowar, and with the bikinis and and that look. And I said, Jesse, you ever see your father in that? Did you see your dad? Dad, your father wasn't wearing that stuff, And yes, Dad, you kept your dignity. And that look didn't age well. I got to be honest with you. But hey, listen, it was an age when bands did things. Every band did something different. And,
without a doubt, it became a point of difference, and it became something very, very unique. I think I was probably a little late to discovering you guys by a couple of years. It was 1984. I was in high school, and I always stopped by my favorite record store whenever I could. And at that stage, they were bringing in a whole heap of Music for Nations titles, and that opened my world. And they just happened to be playing Hail to England at the time that I walked into the store, and I just went, holy shit, what is this? I need to have this now. With what you guys did and how you guys shaped a sound that's now continued and progressed and evolved into, I guess, what we now know as power metal, how does it feel to know that you pretty much shaped a genre and a style of metal within itself?
Well, to be honest with you, I knew that Battle Hymns was a very, very, very influential. I knew it was going to be. I knew we were doing something that really hadn't been done before. I mean, Ronnie did some epic stuff, you know, I think he was headed towards something like that, something like what Manowar did. But I don't think. He got there, but I mean, Ronnie is a man with deal with. Come on, but I think we were into something that was hadn't been done before. I mean, I just think it was fresh. It was. I just thought we hit on something really, 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 really fresh and original. You
You
know,
know,
and,
it was original, and you know, it was powerful. It was melodic. It had steering guitars, huge voices, and you know, the songs really had a drive behind them that you know were easy to absorb. You know, I guess you know those first six albums for me were just iconic. They were completely mesmerizing. And I mean, as I said, I have the original, you know, Music for Nations pressings, and then obviously when you came back with Fighting the World after a little after a slightly longer pause between records, things had changed a little bit in sound. I thought that there was a little bit more commerciality to it, but that was a sign of the times.
well,
What did you feel about you know having to go down that path?
well, it wasn't the fact that it was a different purpose difference in sound. I think that the fact is we had signed to Atlantic Records, and they were like looking for a hit. They were looking for, of course, they were looking for platinum records and gold records and something a little more commercial. And the guy that signed us, Jason Flom, was expecting, you know, and I think we delivered a very good record with Fighting the World. I mean, it's the first digital record that was ever created. The Synclavier, we recorded with the Synclavier in Chicago, and I think it was a new technology when we used it. And then Kings of Metal, if you notice, the sound is better on Kings of Metal, and that was the second record we did in Chicago. So I think we were onto like a lot of different groundbreaking things. I really do. So I mean, I think it's a great record, and I think Fighting the World and then Kings of Metal is a great 1-2 punch.
Absolutely. I mean, Kings of Metal just backed up everything that had been set in place. And
Yeah,
as you sort of say, it is a better sounding record. It's in my opinion the best sounding Manowar record
Kings of Metal, yeah,
of the whole catalogue.
no doubt.
You know, you guys pushed boundaries again, I think, at that time as far as what you were doing sound wise, production wise. And, you
I
know,
think so.
also the addition of you know, having one of my visual artist heroes do the artwork for those two albums, Ken Kelly, who's, you know, whose resume is vast and iconic in every record collection, I think.
You know what Ken Kelly said? The first thing he said to me when I met him, he goes, "Ross, you're the first guy I drew."
Oh,
He said,
wow.
"You're the first guy I drew on the Fighting the World." He said, "You're the first dude I drew." I go, "Oh, okay, quite an honor. Thank you."
Absolutely.
And
Now, do you possess the original artworks from those two albums, or
I think Joey must have it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, I mean, there is obviously Joey and yourself formed Manowar back in 1980. Was the relationship between the two of you always a push and pull type of relationship that ended up in, you know, obviously you leaving the band?
In the beginning, it was very good. In the beginning, we were like two forks in a can of tuna fish. Whatever it took, me and him did. I had my friend in EMI. We got the deal. We did what we had to do to get by to forward the band and to get that album out. And I got the band signed, and everything we did was for the band. He lived in my house in Mount Vernon. I mean, when I went to Auburn, I lived with his parents. I mean, we had no money,
Mm.
but we got it done. We did what we had to do to get the band up, to get the band on the road, to get the band moving.
For sure. And I mean, it's a shame that these partnerships dissolve, but they obviously happen. Who actually owns the name Manowar? And is that Joey?
Yeah, I would have to say the same. Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's not me. So
No. So, and I guess, I hate touching on this because I realize that it is a very personal thing for you as well. That you had this band that should have been and could have been, the biggest band in the world. You guys should have followed in footsteps and probably precursed bands like Metallica, in my opinion.
I've been saying that to myself. I would say that the Manowar should have been just as big or bigger than Metallica ever would be. Because we were ahead of them. I had already produced Anthrax, and it could have been. I think I love Metallica. I love them, and it could have been. We could have easily been like that. Easily.
Yeah.
I think the band destroyed itself.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Yeah. Now, do you have a personal favorite Manowar song?
I really don't, but I've been listening to Defender a lot. The single version of Defender. I just I love the way that the air around the air around that track. His vocal and my solo spreads out a little bit. It's more Pink Floydish, and I think that's a good. I think that's a good track. I really do.
Yeah, absolutely killer track. Now, when it comes to your guitar sound and your style of playing, the Dictators are obviously very different to what Manowar was.
What's that?
Sorry?
It's not. That's the secret.
Really?
I never change guitar sounds or settings.
It's just the dynamic of the music that changes.
That's it.
Yeah.
My attack, that's what might change is my attack on the song. But there's nothing else changes. I don't set my amp any different.
It's
I don't use any effects.
Yeah.
Nothing changes with me.
Yeah.
I'm just the same knucklehead.
And Ross the Boss started in 2008. Is that correct?
But yeah, the barrier.
As predominantly, your version of Manowar.
I've been told that.
Absolutely. But between that sort of 1989 period, that 9-year period, you were involved in so many different little projects.
Yeah.
What was there something that were you trying to establish like a new project but couldn't find the right thing to do, or was that
that's not really. I think around that time, I think that I just had my Jesse was born, and I think it was a different time for me. I think you're asking me what changed.
Yeah, I mean, what changed within you? I mean, obviously, you leave Manowar. Did you try and find something that was uniquely yours?
Well, I did. I mean, I had a couple of bands with my friends, Pack, Heyday, my boys in Mount Vernon. I mean, we Spinatras. We got a deal, which is totally unmetal, totally was like Cheap Trick meet the Ramones, Spinatras, and I did a lot of different stuff. So no one can accuse me of just being just a metal guy, because that wasn't the case at all. So, but I mean, looking back on it, I mean, I would say I did what I wanted to do. I mean, once you leave a band like Manowar, how are you going to out metal Manowar? I mean, you know what I'm saying? How is anyone going to out metal that band? I mean, it's just not going to happen. So I did what I felt. I played. That's what I did.
Now, obviously, being a New York native, you saw some you saw a pretty exciting scene happen from probably the early days of the Dictators, and one that was
Oh my
pretty
God.
varied. Who were the standouts from that time for you?
Well, when the CBGB scene happened, which I would have to say that I played there 35 times. Um, we we had, of course, the Ramones, Makerville, Blondie, Television. Uh, so many bands stopped in to play. The Police, AC/DC played the night that we played the Palladium. The Dictators headlined the Palladium. AC/DC opened for us at the Palladium, and then when they finished their set, they packed up and went to CBGB's and played a second set. And it was a what a night that was. And then of course CBGB's. I mean, the whole scene was great.
Yeah,
Every night about that scene, every night something happened. There was something happening, and it was always at CBGB's. Everyone would or Great Gildersleeves or the Mud Club or Bottom Line or any club, but the main thing was always happening at CBGB's because
yeah.
Hilly had so many bands playing every night. It was I don't know how he did it. Don't know how he did it.
No, it was definitely an institution, and it certainly paved the way for modern music. Certainly
Yeah,
with that 70s and 80s period. And I mean, you guys actually, as the Dictators, got to play one of the last shows at CBGB's, if I'm correct.
exactly. We played. We had the honor of closing the joint. It was the last weekend of CBGB's, and I'm like saying to myself, it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So the Friday and Saturday we had, and Sunday was Patti Smith. And I mean, she's not really punk rock. So I mean, the way I look at it is, we had the last week, we had the weekend, and telling you, it started out as a normal weekend in CBGB's, and then Friday, and then Saturday, I'm like finding I'm on stage, and I'm saying to myself, "This is it, Ross. This is it, buddy. There's no tomorrow. This place is gone. This place where you spent so much time, has played so many shows, so many nights." I'm like, that's when it really dawned on me that it was closing, it was over, and it was pretty heavy. I got to admit, it was heavy.
For sure, for sure. Now, the other remarkable thing about Manowar was that in 1984 you broke the world record for being the loudest band in the world. Was that
Yeah,
an intentional thing to do, or was that just the way that you guys like to present yourself? Was
no,
there a
we did
ploy
it. We
behind
did
it?
it. We did it as a badge of honor, you know, because we were tired of hearing that some band, they thought they were louder. I mean, we were just tired of it, So we said, let's finish this, man. Let's just let's just show people where. And we had the equipment, and we had the fucking power, and we had you know the ability, and we did it. And it's like it was like insects would die if we were so loud at Hammersmith Odeon. It was like if there was like something flew across the stage, and I mean, it was so fucking loud, you know. And
Yeah,
yeah, it was loud. And Motorhead wasn't as loud as us, but they said they were, but no. But their loud was different than our loud. Our loud was clean loud,
being loud,
clean
absolutely.
loud, and their loud was dirty. It was everything in the PA. Their loud was noise loud, which is good, which
Mm,
I liked,
yeah,
but it was different from Manowar loud. So Manowar loud was unique. It was really, it's like you could peel paint on it.
yeah. And again, that comes back to the sound that we sort of touched on before. It was
Yeah.
the Manowar sound was such a unique sound because it was clean. It was very, very clean, but yet had enough
Yes.
grit behind it to
Exactly.
to
Exactly.
to drive through. Now,
Yes, sir.
in your 50 years, what's the favorite show what's the most memorable show that you've ever played?
With Manowar,
Period. With Manowar and outside of Manowar.
Well, I think the most memorable show for me that Manowar played was our first show that we ever played, which you got to understand, after all the trials, all of the work of getting the record contract, of buying the equipment, getting the advances, getting the house in Florida, having Doc down there doing all the gear. Finally, we had this place called Summers on the Beach in Fort Lauderdale. We packed all our gear into that place, and like it was like the windows down on Florida on the Strip. It was like,
Oh wow.
People said the windows were like, it was like the sound pressure that we got was like, they're surprised we didn't pop every single window out. But the fact that we followed through, we did what we said we were going to do, and we did it. That was the very first thing. And then I knew after that there was nothing stopping us, And then we got Orson Welles, and then we recorded him, and which was groundbreaking, I thought. And I mean, after that, it was just great. It was just insane. So,
for sure, and yeah, what a career and what a legacy you guys have left on heavy music. And I'm so glad to see that it still continues with what you're doing with Ross the Boss. So thank you, and thank you for coming out to Australia too. I know.
Oh, I gotta admit, it's a great honor, and so I'm really looking forward to coming. And I know the shows are going to be really, really explosive, and I just love people's faces. I love the look on folks' faces when we just tear the place apart. And the band is the best band we've ever had, and we're really looking forward to coming. So,
and I guess it also begs the question: is what do you prefer? Playing stadiums, arenas, or your smaller theatre style of venue?
I prefer playing where we're playing in Australia. That's what we prefer.
Absolutely.
That's what we prefer.
All right, Ross, we should wrap this up. Thank you so much for your time. It's been an absolute honor and pleasure to talk to you as not only as a journalist, but as a fan of what you've done. I'm super excited for these shows. I'll see you in Melbourne, and
that's going to be nuts. Melbourne's going to be crazy.
Absolutely, it's the one to be at. It's the one to be at. We love our rock, we love our metal, and it's just going to be a perfect pairing.
Very close to my heart. It really is.
Excellent. All right, Ross, thank you again for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure and honor. And travel safe, and we'll see you in Australia.
Down under, we say. Go down under, mate.
Down under. Perfect. Thank you, mate. And
I'm coming to visit the Allies. The Allies.
Yes. Perfect. All right, Ross. Enjoy the rest of your day, my friend.
Later, my friend.
Thank you.